Are you ready to move away from being a beginner and start playing more intermediate to advanced pieces? Then you need to know how to play bar chords. Hi, I'm Bree, your teacher at You and Bree Music Tutorials. I hope you're tuned up, warmed up, and ready to pick and strum to have some fun. Now that you've got a strong index finger because you've watched the last video of this series and you've been practicing, then we're ready to start playing some chord shapes. Here on in this bar chord series, I'm going to assume that you know your musical alphabet. If you don't, that's okay. It would be really beneficial to check out my video on the musical alphabet and finding the notes on your fretboard to help you to better get the most out of this lesson. I'm also going to assume that you know your basic chord shapes, and if you don't, my beginner series will be a better place for you at this stage. Let's start with A major. So you likely know A major, which is this shape. And for today, I want you to play this shape, except you're not going to use your peace sign fingers to play, you're going to use your middle fingers to play. That's going to feel a little bit awkward because it's not something you've done before. So have a little practice of this first, of just getting that nice clear sound with your middle two fingers, because it might not come as naturally as what you might think, depending on how many finger strengthening exercises you've done. From here, these two fingers, they're just going to simply move up one fret each. So you're keeping that exact same position, but they've moved up. And you'll see here that my first finger is just hovering. Well, I'm going to bar that whole first fret. So now, essentially, my finger has become the nut at the first fret. I've shortened all my strings, heightening the pitch by 1/2 step. So this A has now become an A sharp. Now you have an option though, you don't have to bar the whole fret because I'm actually already shortening this top strings closest to my nose. I only need to pinch the bottom two strings. That's an option, but for some people, it might be easier to just bar that whole lot. It really doesn't matter, you could bar 4, 3, 2, as long as you're getting those bottom, like closest to your toes, 2 strings, then it's fine. So if I move that up one more fret, I now have a B because I'm just going up in my musical alphabet. With this particular chord shape, whatever note your third finger is playing is the major chord that you're playing. So here I'm playing a B on this 4th fret of my G string. So I have a B chord. If I go up once more, I have a C. And it continues up the whole musical alphabet. So let's see which other chords we can do. Let's go A minor. And it will go in that exact same pattern. A sharp minor, B minor, C minor. There are various ways to play each chord, and this is going to open up all the possibilities. Now let's look at C. So we're going to rearrange our fingers. Rather than using your third finger, you're now going to use your pinky. And again, this could be tricky if you're not using your pinky often. C, move it up one, bar the first fret. You now have a D sharp. Up another, we have D. Again, D sharp, and so on. So then, our C major 7, if I move up, I have C sharp major 7, D major 7, D sharp major 7, E 7, and so on. E major 7, sorry, major 7. C major 7, C sharp major 7, D sharp major 7, E sharp major 7. Let's try C minor. Move up one, finger on the first fret, up here on our G string. So again, I'm not barring here, but I could. It's a little bit of a tricky chord to get all your fingers in. So I'm pivoting my whole hand, kind of like you have to for D up here, but down here for C, and I reach that first fret. These are called movable chords because you can move them up and down your fretboard and find various ways to play different chords. It's also a way to make transposing a little bit easier. Before we go on to the activity, comment below and tell me which chord shapes you're excited to try as movable chords. Or if you're coming back here again, tell me which ones that you've practiced and mastered. Exercise number 1. The classic A minor, F, C, G chord progression, we're going to try as bar chords. Now, admittedly, I don't really use the G chord as a bar chord often, but it definitely comes up. So you're going to bar the first fret and you're going to play the A minor shape. You might just do one long strum for now. Place your next finger down, you have an F shape. You're going to place your pinky in the C position relative to your bar chord. Play C, and this is going to be the tricky one, is the G shape. Now remember, with things like G, because I've already shortened these 3 strings closest to my toes, you really only need to play that top string. So don't worry if your finger bends a little bit when you're not needing to play those strings closest to your toes. So that chord progression is actually now A sharp, F sharp, C sharp, and then G sharp. So keep practicing that, but move it up a fret each time and see if you can mentally tell yourself which chord you're playing. So if you went up another fret and played that same chord progression, you would then be playing B, G, D, and A. This is going to be a good way to try to memorize your chords around the fretboard. And it's just a good way to get all your fingers strengthened up for various bar chords. You can come up with your own progressions though. Get a bit creative with this. Let me know below if you find a really beautiful chord progression for practicing bar chords, and it might help everyone else in our learning community to practice too. I'll be putting a link in these end screens here to help you keep learning more about bar chords. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future lessons. Thank you.